when did you, for lack of a better term, when did you stop being a virgin in the offer department?
I remember this day so clearly, bro. I was it was right before the July, or no, it might have been, it was after the Scholastic. So that was the first year they had the Scholastic events. Remember that year they really restructured the AAU.
They restructured the live.
So it wasn't nearly as many days. They had some of it on like Scholastic events. Some of them were going to be the academy camps later in the summer. But so I played with Cushing in the Scholastic event. I believe it was at in Connecticut at Hampden Hall, and I played really well. I remember thinking that I was killing, but I did. I remember my mom came with me to the game. She's recording all my highlights so we can make a little tape. I remember playing in that time we had a bunch of really good dudes on our Cushing team too that were like prospects. We had Bensley Joseph, Alexis Reyes, Toby Okani. So we had. So I knew we would have a lot of schools at our games. But I remember after that tournament, and I remember right before that Scholastic event, I lost my phone, and I remember being so sick. I'm like, man, like I'm killing. Like, what if all these schools are hitting me up and I have no idea?
Yeah.
But they weren't. But but I remember. So then we started getting ready for the July Live periods, and I remember that day, all of my friends were at this graduation party at one of my friend's house in Jersey, and I couldn't go because I had AAU practice. So I'm watching all of them post on Instagram, like whatever, having fun. I have so much like FOMO is what they call it.
Yeah.
But I'm like, whatever, I got to do this. I got to go to AAU practice. My mom drove me, picked me up. We're driving back from somewhere in like Staten Island, and I'm in the back of the car, or I'm in a passenger seat in the car, and I get a call from a random number. I pick it up, and it was the coach at NJIT. So at this point, I think it's like maybe June, July. We're getting ready for July Live period, and then he whatever started doing a little spiel and offered me a scholarship. And I was just smiling ear to ear, like all of like the like
all your FOMO was gone.
Oh, it was gone, man. Like I went right to Twitter. Like I found me a little post, like, got the logo, found a photo.
Found a photo of a dude in the jersey.
Yeah, I'm like, yo, blessed to receive my first Division I offer. Like, I did that so quickly, and I was just ecstatic. Like all my boys was happy for me because they knew like that I really wanted that. And it didn't, like, at the time I didn't really know much about like NJIT or the school, but that didn't really matter to me. It was just, like, I really just wanted to like prove that I was a Division I prospect, and and so I was just, that whole car ride home was just like euphoric. I remember like I was just talking about the other day with my mom, like,
how did it feel the first time where you that spring live period where you're playing and you look over at the sideline and it's the who's that are checking y'all out? How did that feel for the first time?
That was intimidating for sure. I remember that year. So we're playing the Adidas Gauntlet that year, and one of the teams we played was Compton Magic, and obviously Zed and Andre were really big prospects, so they brought a lot of coaches out.
And then them dudes.
But then they had Evan Mobley. I can't remember his name. Jalen. I can't remember, but he played at UCLA.
One of them, it wasn't the Hawkins, but he mimicked him though. Yeah.
They had a lot of really good dudes, and so that baseline is. I'm seeing Dan Hurley, I'm seeing Izzo, like all these dudes that I've only ever seen on TV. So that was a really awesome experience. I knew I hadn't played well enough in those tournaments to where I was like, or at least at that point where I felt like I was gonna, because I was before a Scholastic event. But it was just like, I'm like, man, this is awesome. Like, this is cool. It was in Dallas, that tournament in Mansfield. So that was. Like,
when do coaches being on the baseline or the sideline stop being intimidating for you?
I don't know. Like even in the summer when we started playing, it was all like I saw Pat Ewan for the first time, like Roy Williams, and I remember, and I didn't know at the time, but one of my teammates who I was playing AU with, he was like, I guess you'd call him like he basically was like someone who just looked like one of his mentors he looked out for him, but he would travel with us a lot of his games. His name was DJ. And I didn't know at the time, but he was a referee, and he was a big time, he still referees a lot of games. So I'm walking with him into the gym, and all these coaches are coming up to him and like give him a handshake. And I'm like, this is I'm like face to face with Izzo, face to face with Pat Ewing, face to face with. And I was starstruck.
Yeah.
And I didn't know he was a ref at the time. So they're all like, oh, he's reffing all these Big Ten games. So they're trying to like be nice. But it was still like a lot like that. Being in them gyms. Like I'd never like this is only my really second year playing AAU. So now to kind of get to be at that level, I'm like you get the gear, you get the backpacks, all that stuff, like the bag tags. Like I felt like I was in an elite circle.
Most definitely. Now I do feel like you mentioned how in the spring you weren't playing so much or not playing so well, but I don't know if you remember when in Alabama I was out there and I watched y'all play in person and whatnot, and you played a shit ton and you played well. What changed in July where you're playing a whole lot and you're just grooving with it?
I think I was just getting more comfortable, like kind of showing like now I didn't have to feel like I had to like fit a rock. I could kind of rock out a little bit, and it's hard because we have so many good guys. It's like that was, I think, part of it for me. And I remember talking with Coach Jay about this because he was like, "Yo, like we got 10 to 12 Division I dudes. Like you're not going to be able to have 15, 20 points every game, but in the games that you do, like it'll still mean something. So just like when it's your game, when it's your time, like take it." So they were.
Did you understand that? Did you understand that? Like, yo, if I average 8 with these guys, I'm killing.
Yeah, I didn't at first, but I think as it kind of started to work its way out, I kind of figured it out. I'm like, all right, we're all like, I can't expect, I mean, it's just natural for just the frustration to set in, and you wanna, really prove yourself. But I think as the summer went along, I knew there would be opportunities. So I just kind of want to let the game come to me. And like you said, that tournament in Alabama, I played a lot more. And I think I had a few good games. I was getting some more Division I interest. At that point, I still only had that one offer. But definitely at that, because it's crazy, like, that was when I also realized, I remember when I got that first Division I offer, then all these other schools start following you and start hitting you up. And I'm like, wow, it's crazy. Like, that's all it really took. But I was certainly picking up some more interest. So I'm like, all right, I think I got to just trust the coaches and not force anything because, I think I'm in a good spot.
Got you. Now, how do you remember that summer going for you guys as a unit as far as winning and just as a collective?
I remember we did well in I'm trying to think. In Alabama, I can't remember who we ended up losing to, but we made it pretty far, and then we qualified for like the finals in California that year. And we didn't end up winning at all the gauntlet that year, but I remember we won a lot of games, and I remember thinking that we were one of the best Adidas teams in the country that year.
That's a fact.
But I can't remember exactly how it was structured because there were so many games you play. Like you're playing like 3 games a day at sometimes. But I remember thinking that we had fallen a little short, but that overall it was a good AAU season, and I remember thinking that like as a whole, like the Jayhawks had really helped me kind of gain some notoriety, and also then I felt good that I was part of a winning and reputable team in the city.
Most definitely.